Hey everyone, welcome back to Panels to Pixels. My name is Josh, and although the focus of this channel is on comic book video games, today I would like to talk to you about something a little bit different, and that's something that I've been thinking a lot about since I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi. So I hope you'll indulge me and you'll enjoy this little chat about the death of the Chosen One in Millennial fiction. Oh, and before we begin, there will be spoilers for Blade Runner 2049 and The Last Jedi, so be prepared! Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, is full of twists and turns, and writer-director Rian Johnson revels in subverting the codes and conventions of the Star Wars franchise and of the action, sci-fi, fantasy genre as a whole. Arguably none more so than in the way the film sets up the suspense surrounding Rey, her origins, her parents, and her place in the larger Star Wars tapestry, before revealing, without fanfare, that in fact, her parents were nobody. They were filthy junk traders who sold her off for drinking money. They're dead in a pauper's grave in the Jakku desert. She came from nothing, and she is nothing. At least, according to Kylo Ren. Now, whether this holds true, or turns out to be a ploy by Kylo Ren to manipulate Rey, remains to be seen. However, in a fictional universe built on prophecies and the Chosen One, it's a pretty devastating blow to both the character and to the status quo. Sitting in the cinema during this scene, I was reminded of another film from last year, Blade Runner 2049, which employs a similar trope of setting up the main protagonist as being somehow intrinsically special or destined for greatness. In this case, that Kay is the replicant child of Deckard and Rachel, before revealing that actually, in fact, they're not special and they never were. And it is a trope. In fact, tvtropes.org refers to it as I just want to be special, and defines it as a character who is completely ordinary and unexceptional but desperately wish they weren't. Deep down, Kay wants to be the replicant child, and we know this because Joy is insistent to him that he is.
I always told you, you're special.
Which we later find out is because she's programmed to say what you want to hear. Similarly, we know that Rey wants to believe that she wasn't just abandoned by her parents, and she has a destiny. Kylo Ren confirms this when he tells her, "You've just hidden it away, you know the truth." In fact, the narrative arcs of Kay and Rey mirror each other almost perfectly, both becoming involved in a larger mythology through chance and happenstance, both having to come to terms with their roles within this larger narrative. We see this in Kay's violent reaction at the replicant memory design lab, and in Rey's desperation to find someone to show her her place in all this. The final reveal between Rey and Kylo Ren and Kay and the Resistance leader play out similarly too. Oh, and they both hang out with Harrison Ford for a while. Now, neither of these films were the first to subvert this time-worn tradition of the Chosen One. The Matrix franchise, a film series that defined cinema for the millennial generation, revealed in the sequels that in fact Neo wasn't the one. At least I think that's what happened. I haven't actually seen The Matrix Reloaded or Revolutions because I have more respect for myself than that, and you should too. More recently, the Lego Movie had a great third act reveal of a similar nature, which also incorporated themes of religion and government. So, what does any of this have to do with millennials? Well, I see the term used incorrectly and derivatively so frequently that I thought it best if I clear up the definition. It is generally accepted that millennials were born between the early 1980s and the mid-1990s. I often see people referring to younger people born after the year 2000 as millennials, and I think the confusion comes from the name. The distinction is that we millennials came of age around the time of the millennium and are the last generation to remember the world pre-internet. They are often the children of baby boomers or those born in the post-World War II baby boom, and are sometimes referred to as echo boomers because of the major surge in birth rates in the 80s and 90s, which mirrored that of our parents. As a result of this, millennials are the largest generation in Western history, and because of this and the Great Recession of the late noughties, we are experiencing historically high levels of unemployment. Okay, time to connect the dots. In their book Millennials Rising, The Next Generation, William Strauss and Neil Howe defined this generation as civic-minded with a strong sense of community, both local and global, with a focus on larger societal needs rather than those of the individual. The picture that is painted of millennials is that we're disillusioned, disenchanted, but generally more optimistic and enthusiastic about social change and doing things for the greater good with less focus on our sense of self. It's reasonable to extrapolate from this that traditional sci-fi and fantasy stories about the Chosen One and tales of destiny just aren't as relevant to younger audiences today. Having said that, there is a greater focus on self-expression and individualism through social media and one's appearance. And a 2015 survey suggests that millennials are more confident and empowered than previous generations. However, it is a confidence grounded in collectivism rather than in the individual as quote-unquote special. Recent studies have also found that millennials are less overtly religious, with 1 in 4 being unaffiliated with any religion. Perhaps this is why stories involved with destiny and divinity just don't play with us as well anymore. Compare the origin of Rey to that of Anakin Skywalker almost 20 years ago in The Phantom Menace. You can play Messiah bingo with his story, a prophecy about the Chosen One, an inferred Immaculate Conception, and his rise, fall, and ultimate redemption. It's no secret that George Lucas filled his original Star Wars saga with the religious allegory, but this is notably absent from The Last Jedi. In fact, the Jedi Order is treated with cynicism, and there is a central theme of letting the old ways die. Furthermore, whereas in the original Star Wars trilogy, the rebellion acted as a backdrop to Luke's story and the Skywalker dynasty, in the new trilogy there is much more focus on the resistance and the civic-orientated values of millennials. In a 2016 article for the Huffington Post, Matthew Tyson suggested that millennials are not moved by flashy ads, big promises, and wow factor. They want authentic messages, authentic brands, and authentic interactions. Well, what could be more authentic than being told that you're not special and you never were? Alright guys and gals, if you like this video and you want to see more like this, then please subscribe to Panels to Pixels, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.